Hello and a big welcome back to the next episode of Foundation that we are playing in the city of Bosco Verde. We're sat looking over our castle, which is very nearly complete, which leads me straight on to one of the goals we're going to have for this episode, which I think is to try and complete this castle build or get really near enough if we can. Now that our city's pretty stable, I'm also looking forward to doing a few more of the missions. We did start that a few episodes ago, but I would really like to gear up with making some stronger weapons, getting our companies trained up, and seeing how well we can do at the missions. As ever, we'll need to make sure we're keeping up with our food production, which includes making sure we have enough meat, cheese, bread, and also fish. And I think that pretty much sums up what we're going to be doing today, so let's get stuck in. Taking a look at our budget, we are currently earning money at a pretty alarming rate just for this month. I mean, that will probably change a bit from month to month. As you can see, we actually lost money last month. But yeah, we got 5,000 this month, which is crazy, which gives us a tendency of up 1,000. So I'm going to prioritize initially building on a bit to the castle, and the best treasury solution I can come up with really is the castle, because the whole castle is built within this light fortification area. Does it come up if I click on that? Yeah, everything in this purple is in or even a heavy fortification area maybe. So whereas when you build treasury onto a monastery or a manor house, you need to make sure there's a tower or a watch post or something nearby. With the castle, you can just build it straight onto the side, because mine is built within this heavy fortification wall. And I also really enjoy how it makes the castle look, how we've kind of started doing it over this corner. I'm going to continue with that kind of style for the rest of the castle. So yeah, let's kick this episode off with a bit of a building montage, I guess. Just before I start building, what I might begin to do is employ some people into our companies. If I come up here, you can see we have four companies: the castle company, bow company, spear company, and sword company. Their might is mostly pretty low, and some of them don't even have any people as part of them yet. I would like to kind of get them all fully stocked really, so to have 10 in each, so that would be 40 people dedicated towards companies. And they take a little while to get trained up. If we look at our combatant list, you can see what weapons they're using and their strength. I want them all using pretty good weapons, and I also want them all to be fully trained. So we've got 5 spare people at the moment, so let's come and add them in somewhere. Now, because we don't have any steel yet, I think we have to kind of like win steel in the spoils of war. We're going to need to start by just having the weaker weapons on offer, which is the spear, the short bow, and the iron sword. As you can, they're all the strength 1 weapons, which really want to be able to upgrade to strength 3 or 6 in the future. And because this sword company has the most might and people already existing, they're going to be the easiest to train up to be pretty strong, I think. So I think I'm going to go ahead and add in 5 or 6 people to this sword company. And to do that, I need to come and find where I have built the sword company, which is somewhere around here. Here we are, the sword encampment, and I can go ahead and add in my unemployed villagers just over here. So now those people are going to begin to get slowly trained up. I am going to start building our treasury extension over here. Okay, I think I'm just about finished with designing this castle. I've built it in a slightly different style to these other little kind of turrety bits that stuck out over here. That's just to try and keep it interesting so it's not kind of identical all the way around. It's also a bit more interesting to build when it's like that. And that is going to add on another 3,000 to our treasury, so pretty good to be honest. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and click build all. And seeing as our city's looking in a pretty good place, I might try ahead and do this mandate of inviting the seneschal to stay in our city. I'm actually not 100% sure what the benefit of that is, but I mean, it's just something to do while we've got the time, so may as well go ahead and do that. Why don't we have our bailiff come and do that? There we go. We've got a couple of other trade routes we're working towards being able to improve. We can improve this Northbury one with our bread, so I think I'm going to go ahead and do that as well. And we're still saving up to have enough stone and planks to improve these two. It is really a lot of stone and planks. We're just about to use loads of that stone in building this castle extension, so we probably won't be able to do either of those two for a little while for now. One thing I'm noticing is we are hardly getting through our milk supplies now that we've promoted a bunch of our cheesemakers, so I think I'm going to need to prioritise painting out some dairy fields, and that is what we're kind of extending over into this part of the map doing, so I will go ahead and build 2 or 3 of them over here. Oh, and our seneschal has arrived. From his cluttered office, the seneschal gladly receives news of your village, noting its growing influence across the realm. He accepts your invitation as a short but welcome break from other duties. It'll be a good opportunity for him to study local legislation and meet your city's elders. I have tried this a couple of times before and never actually quite managed to have him leave as happy as he arrived. So let's give it another go. And I will just continue to build out these dairy farms. So it looks like our seneschal is pretty happy, except for he wants to be able to buy a second lot of goods and also a second luxury item, so we might need to just very briefly put some of our honey and maybe candles in to be sold. And I'm probably just going to add a couple of stalls onto this market in order to be able to fulfill those needs for him. And I'll probably, as soon as he's left, I'll stop selling honey and candles because those are things I'm actually making money off exporting, so this will just be a temporary thing. Seem to be having a problem with this game that's being loaded that my like snapping things when I'm building have disappeared, so I might need to close the game and reload it to get that back, but because I don't plan on keeping these stalls around for a long time anyway at the moment, that's kind of fine. And while those market stalls are being built out, it looks like our first dairy farm is ready, so let's go ahead and add 3 dairy farmers and begin to paint out that pasture. And this dairy farm has also been built out, so I'm going to go ahead and employ some people there too. So my villagers are suggesting we build the seneschal a beautiful fountain in order to kind of bribe him, I guess. I don't really know how to build a grand fountain, but I am intrigued by the thought of it. Or my best builder will think of something for which there's a 70% chance of success. I'm going to say that's a refreshing idea, and let's build a grand fountain. Wonder if that's in common decoration? Here we go, this is the grand fountain, and yeah, it is a common decoration, so this just means I need to build this somewhere. Now, where do we think this grand fountain would look good? Perhaps somewhere in our high density area. Yeah, I think it will look good as a little feature over here. I think I'm going to build it in this spot, and that's going to cost 720, which is quite a lot, and we're going to need some of our marble and polished stone to build that, so I'll make sure we keep a little bit of marble in stock. Actually, we've already got a little bit in stock, so hopefully they'll be able to get that adequately. And then once the fountain is built, I might add a few kind of decorations around it, like a few benches and some plants, and just sort of make sure the area looks nice. So our little stalls have been built out, ready for us to sell a few candles and also a little bit of honey, which we should have a few of in stock. We do generally export it all, but I think a little bit can be redirected to here. And I'll need to assign 2 market tenders also in order to make sure that those stalls get stocked up. Let's see if that makes the seneschal happy. And I'm going to prioritise the construction of this grand fountain to make sure it gets done quickly. Now if we take a look at our companies, it looks like our sword company is all fully trained up and ready to go, so I think let's take a look at our mission list and see what they might be good at. Might go for this garrison gig, which promises to bring us back a few materials if we succeed. And apparently we have a fair chance of success. Yeah, which is pretty much the most chance of success we can have with their current level of training and stuff, I think. So let's go ahead and deploy that company. Unfortunately, it looked like we didn't manage to quite build that grand fountain in time, which means our seneschal is a little vexed. He also still can't get a hold of one of his goods, even though we've got both candles and common wares here, but maybe he's been going to the wrong market stalls. I've just decided to import some goods because we are running a bit low on them, and the goods I'm importing are common wares, so hopefully they arrive soon. Although he is now on his way to get a candle, so maybe that will make him happy. That does make him happy. Good. Although he is still vexed, so I don't know if he'll become less vexed over time. He's still got 48 days here, but we'll see. And we've just hit 10,000 coins for the first time, so pretty good that we are currently in the process of expanding our treasury. I mean, I think we're going to need to expand it even more, to be honest. So perhaps we could go ahead and build a second extension onto this castle. We may have a chance to redeem ourselves with the seneschal, although he's actually not super unhappy right now. Yeah, he's actually got 90% happiness, or down here it says he's got 96% happiness. I think we're going to have to try and accumulate berry brew in order to succeed with that one, although I'm not really convinced we can accumulate 200 inside storage. We don't really have that much berry brew spare. Looks like we can import berry brew, so maybe I'll just try doing that briefly and seeing if that helps us. Could also employ a few more brewers if I wanted. Another thing, because our coin balance is doing so well, that we could adjust is actually our taxation. We could potentially remove some of the taxes we have on these buildings. I might just experiment for a month and see what happens if we remove all of them. It's probably a bad idea because we were actually making a fair amount from taxes, 2,000, but yeah, I'm happy to switch them back on if it sort of results in disaster. Looks like these trees have been cleared and we've got space for our extra dairy farms, so I'm going to go ahead and move our lumberjacks around so that they can clear some different trees. There we go, apply those changes. And let's go ahead and employ some people in this dairy farm and paint out the pasture. We've only got 11 days left and we've not yet stocked up on this berry brew. I'm not 100% sure why we haven't been importing it, even though I directed us to. It might just be taking a little bit of time to come through. Yeah, it looks like we can buy it from Northbury. Yeah, unfortunately we have a vexed our seneschal again by not giving him his berry brew. He's honestly pretty hard to keep happy, to be honest. But yes, I got a bit distracted, but I think I need to go back to building on an addition to this castle in the form of another treasury, so let's go ahead and build that. So I just reloaded into the game to just see if my snapping tools will come back on for when I'm building, and so now I'm going to go ahead and build this extra treasury. Okay, it looks like this extension is going to add on another 4,500 to our treasury, so let's go ahead and build all of that. And the seneschal is basically, all of his needs are met, but he is vexed by the lack of berry brew and the gram fountain not being built in time. So I don't know if this final gathering will manage to get his happiness up above this 95%, but we shall have to wait and see. And another little addition I'd like to make onto the castle is to have a couple more weaponsmiths, which we unlocked on the progression panel ages ago. But yeah, we basically have the ability to potentially make extra types of these 3 different weapons: pole arms, recurve bow, steel sword. We already have the recurve bow, although no one is currently employed there because we don't have any steel to make the weapons with, which is a bit unfortunate. So yeah, like I said, we've already got an extra bowyers, but we could do with an extra spear makers and an extra swordsmith as well. So I'm going to go ahead and build them in this sort of weapon making district I've kind of created around the edge of the castle here. Our spear company are totally ready to go off on a mission, so let's see what one would be good for them. They're still not that strong. Yeah, they've got 240 might, so they're probably just going to be doing these easier ones. We're not able to do these escorts yet. Apparently we don't have the required military grade. I'm not 100% sure how we get that, to be honest. But yeah, I'll have a look into that maybe for next episode. Instead, let's do this garrison gig, I think, which we have a fair chance of winning. So let's go ahead and deploy that company there. Unfortunately, we have failed our seneschal hosting mission, so no great success story there, whoopsie. But we can have another go at it, that's the good thing about that mission. Maybe next episode even. See if we can vex him a little less. We can, however, start this mandate, attend the court to discuss warfare. I'm not really sure what happens with that, but let's give it a go. Having removed all of these taxes after a month or two, or however long it's been, it's done practically nothing to our coin balance, to be honest. We're still making loads of money and barely have enough space to store it. So yeah, I think perfectly fine to basically not have these taxes operating. I wonder if I could even lower the taxes on my citizens a little bit. I don't know if that's a bad idea. I'll leave them where they are for now because I actually don't think it's really causing anyone to leave at all. If we faced any kind of food shortage where I'm worried people are going to leave, then maybe I'll have a look at lowering them. Also, I think maybe because we went to go and talk to the king, he said he's acknowledged our unwavering loyalty. He deems us worthy to join him in battle. That's interesting. I don't think we're that strong yet. To help us succeed, he's instructed the first constable to assist you in assembling a mighty force capable of enduring a lengthy military campaign. Once ready, the king will judge the power of your combatants. Now is the time to rise and prove the true strength of your warriors. Have a company with over 450 might. We're working our way towards that. Yeah, I think we can do this mission. There's no time limit on it, so I think we'll just keep... We probably do need to get some better weapons, to be honest. That's really what we're hoping to achieve at some point, although without steel it is just very difficult. I'm not sure if anybody knows of a way to kind of get steel sooner than... Oh, actually I can buy steel. Oh, I hadn't realised that. That was silly of me. Okay, well let's buy, I don't know, 50 steel or something? I think it's quite expensive, so I don't want too much. And then we can start building those weapons, like the recurve bow and pole arm and steel sword. Great. We probably need somewhere to store that steel as well. Yeah, we can store that steel here, and then we're also going to want to store our other two types of weapons, which are the pole arm, and then I'm going to need to build another of these armories in order to store the other one. So that's easy enough. Let's go ahead and build this. Quite like building them sort of as though they're attached to the castle. So like butting it right up against the wall, and then it kind of blends in, which I think is quite a good look. Let's go ahead and build that. And right on time, we've got some new people who we can employ in these couple of weaponsmiths. And I'm just going to put one in each at the moment. We don't need loads of weapons, to be honest, so that should be plenty. Okay, so the first constable has acknowledged our hard work and believes our forces are ready to march into battle. She bestows you the honour of having your mightiest company accompany the royal army on their next deployment. I guess to war. Complete the noble rescue military mission. I don't think we have to do it straight away, but we can do it as a mandate, it looks like. Complete the noble rescue military mission. Oh no, I see. Maybe it's going to be listed as a mission on here. Yeah, noble rescue. But we're not even nearly ready to do that. So, yeah, we're going to have to get better at this stuff first, I think. To increase the grade of the company, promote at least one combatant to soldier status. Okay, so we need to start promoting people to soldiers in order to increase our military grade. I don't really know what that means. Perhaps it means they're just going to want some different food in the mess hall and some places to sort of sleep. I'm not sure. Alright, so one of our missions are fully back. One of our companies is fully back from their mission. They got 4 out of 5 stars, trophies. Don't entirely know what that means. But let's go ahead and upgrade their weapons while they're back. So that's sword company, and we can now upgrade them to this steel sword, which we're starting to make a few of. Okay, so it looks like we had another mission success, and our final mission, or our final company is now home from their mission, so we are going to be all ready next episode to, I think, really focus on these missions and get all of their might super high. We're already slowly replacing all of their weapons with the better weapons. To be honest, most of them have already had it replaced, so that's pretty good. This company just got home, so we can tell them to use the pole arm now, which is good. And yeah, I think that's going to be the plan for next time, to slowly work towards this noble rescue mission. For the meantime, I hope you're enjoying looking over our new castle extensions that we've added on this episode, which we really needed, to be honest, to improve our treasury. Been really enjoying the game recently, especially since our city has been really flourishing. We've got loads of money, we've got loads of food, we're able to basically just focus on all the fun aspects of the game and not worry too much about resource management at the moment. I just sort of make little tweaks here and there, but really they're probably not even necessary. But I really hope you enjoyed watching this episode of Foundation in the city of Bosco Verde, and I will see you in the next one.